Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Famous Rapper Convos here on the Famous Rapper Network. This is the show where we help rappers create meaningful connections online. With us today, we have our very first anime-based rapper, the leader of the Otaku Nation, Carl Thomas, aka Chaos Network. What's up?
How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you here. So let's jump right into this. So the first question I always start with is if you were to think back to when you first got introduced to music and the path that you took to get to where you are today, in about 3 minutes, could you tell me the full story of you as an artist?
All right. So I didn't have any plans to do music. I started though being a very avid listener and loving and enjoying music since third grade, beating on tables, producing beats, and freestyling with my friends during the lunch periods. And I wanted to be a video game designer since I was 8 years old. Now, I met this rapper when I got to college, and I had no interest in rap. I listened to anime music, I listened to video game music, and he liked anime. He seen my Naruto shirt. He was like, "You like anime?" I was like, "Yes." And then we got real close, became good friends. He was like, "I'm a rapper. Let me take you to the studio." I was like, "Cool." He took me to the studio, showed me a few of his raps, and that changed my perspective. I was like, wow, he's rapping like Eminem, Tech Nine. It's really dope. Sitting here having to really break down his metaphor, stuff like that. I showed him a freestyle I wrote in high school where I took Rick Ross's 9 piece and remixed it to be about the anime lifestyle. And I showed it to him. The rapper's name is Garcia. And he was like, "Oh, this is great. Record this." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, you can. Yeah, this is you. This is what you do." I was like, "Okay."
Nice.
So we recorded it, put it out in September 2014. It was history from there. People was like, "Oh man, what is it you rap about? You rapping now? Like you rap about anime? This is real." And it just started to gain momentum because I started to realize that this needed to be. I never really liked rap because I couldn't relate to it and all the concepts, all of the substances that they had. It wasn't for me. I couldn't relate as being an anime fan. So I was like, well, let's rap about anime then. Let's rap about the lifestyle of being an anime fan. I'm sure people can relate to that, all my other anime fans. And sure enough, that's what happened. So here I am with the movement, with the revolution, with the record label.
Awesome. So 2014, you recorded that first song. I checked out your Bandcamp, which is
Yeah.
Chaos Network. Wait, what's the URL?
It's Chaos Network Music
Chaos
.com.
Network, chaosnetworkmusic.com, your Bandcamp. You have an EP on there, I think, with 6 songs as well as a
Yeah.
few singles.
Yeah.
When were those created?
So what you see now is a revamp of my catalog. I've made a lot of music since 2014 and have released a lot of singles, a couple of projects, but I had to delete everything and start over in 2019, I believe, like late 2019, because a lot of that music wasn't really encompassing the new me, the new sound, the new character, like the persona. You feel me? Like I rapped about anime, I rapped about the anime lifestyle. So these are two different styles of my rap where I focus on certain aspects, and I had to hone in more on one than the other when I do, and I can get into it in greater detail later. But what you see now on my website is Anime Otaku Drill Volume 1, which I wrote in 2017 in the summer. And you should see Otaku Bars 2.0, which is a single that I wrote and released in 2019. Um, and you'll see a project, an EP called Crossing the Fields, the series, uh, also written and released in 2019. And now my newest single that came out in December of 2020, Anime Otaku Nation, The Revolution, featuring one of my label mates, Okami B.
Nice. I actually don't see that 2017 album that you mentioned on there.
Oh, actually, yeah, it's saved as a draft. I haven't officially released it. You can find that one on SoundCloud.
Oh, okay, cool. So you have music on SoundCloud?
You should also see Incoming Otaku Bars on Bandcamp as well.
Yeah, I checked
That's
out
a single
one.
that single I wrote in 2016 and released in 2016.
And what's your SoundCloud?
Chaos Network. So you type in Chaos Network, I'll pop right up.
Nice. Cool. Awesome. So you started making music, your first song in 2014. You made a bunch of songs, different types. You said in 2019 you revamped, or you took everything down to restart and relaunch based around like a new brand image.
Yeah.
So now do you feel like you've settled into this new character going forward, or do you feel like there's still like turbulence there?
What I enjoy about my music career so far is that it has phases to it. So I have different points in which I evolve as a person, and my music evolves with it. So I have a lot of different styles of music, styles of rap, and I can evolve each one, you know? So it would be time periods where I'll focus on a certain style that I do and evolve that style and take that to the next level and continue that for like a year or two, and then move on to the other style that I do. You know, so it's kind of like a video game RPG where I'm leveling up different attributes of myself, you know? So right now I'm in a point where the style that I'm focusing in on and evolving is the otaku revolution style of my otaku rap music. And so far, I'm very much enjoying the process because it's so much material. When I do my otaku rap, so much material. And there's a lot of styles within otaku rap that I can do. So if I can go into depth with it, when you get to those questions, I can explain it in more detail. But right now I'm enjoying where I am as a record producer, but also still rapping.
Cool. So my next question is, what does otaku mean?
Okay, so otaku is a Japanese term that was coined in the early 70s. Otaku refers to someone who is very passionate about something to the point of obsession. And they usually, now this is back in the day, in the early 70s, 80s, and the 90s, before it started to change. These people, they showed behavior that was very similar to social awkwardness, and these people didn't really talk to a lot of other people. They just really immersed themselves in their hobbies, their interests, their passion. But you would find these people on occasion socializing with other otaku, with other people who had the same interests as them. So otaku is someone who's passionate about something to the point of obsession. They were socially awkward. That's not the case as much anymore. But of course, there are still socially awkward otaku. These people also had like very, very distinct characteristics with appearance. Like they usually have baggy clothes, maybe cargo attire, glasses, frizzy hair, you know, and just not really all that appealing in the appearance department. But as you can see, with someone as handsome as myself, that isn't the case anymore, you know, and there's a lot of different type of otaku now. It's not so much one appearance, you know, fits all type of thing anymore. So that's what otaku is. And you can, to simplify it, you can compare it with the term we have here in the US, nerd, right? So a nerd, someone's very knowledgeable about what they love, you know. But the reason why I don't claim nerd is because nerd can encompass a lot, like Marvel, DC, sci-fi, and otaku does the same thing. Otaku can be anything. You can be an otaku for trains. You could be an otaku for anime. You could be an otaku for technology, sports, you name it. It's whatever you're passionate about. My
Sex.
thing is sex. Yes, sex otaku. That's a thing, you know.
Nice.
So with me, I'm someone who's passionate about anime, so I'm known as an anime otaku. Um, in America, though, in the US, so not in Japan, they have two different type of perspectives on the term. It's starting to be more universal, but for right now, it's still kind of separated. In Japan, it's still people who are socially awkward and obsessed with their hobbies. It's becoming more like the American perspective, where in America, we see it as people who like anime and all the related, right? So it's not anything else. It's not technology. It's not anything else but anime and everything related to anime, right?
Mhm.
But if you look at the original definition, you can be an otaku for anything. It don't have to be just anime. But like I said, here in the US, we look at otaku and just automatically assume they like anime. So that's
Gotcha.
kind of what we're going with. Me, I try to keep it, you know, original, the original definition. So I say anime otaku instead of just otaku. But you
Mhm.
know, when I do say otaku, people usually get what I mean. You know, you can
Mhm.
just look at me and see. You know, the anime is everywhere, so you kind of know which otaku I am off bat. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
Makes sense. And you currently live on the north side of Chicago?
I'm in North Chicago, the suburb. So
Okay.
it's a suburb of Chicago known as North Chicago. I'm not far
Oh.
from the city. I'm like 40 minutes away driving. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I was
Gotcha.
born and raised in Chicago though. I just came out here to the suburbs a year and a half ago. You know, so I've been in the city all my life.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, born and
I'm
raised.
originally from Arlington Heights, Illinois.
Oh, Arlington. My friend stays in Rolling Meadows. We was just in
Oh, sweet.
Arlington Heights the other day because we went to Mitsuwa. You know Mitsuwa Marketplace?
No.
Okay, so there's a Japanese community over there in Arlington Heights, and they
Mm.
have a big market. Like it's basically like their jewels, and they have all these different Japanese foods or like authentic Japanese food. You can go in and get all your products so you can cook Japanese food at home. They also have a bookstore in the grocery store, which is really cool. So
Whoa, that's
if you ever
awesome.
come back, you know, come visit, go to
Yeah.
Mitsuwa.
I'm actually coming back 7 days from
Oh,
now,
there
from
you
May
go.
25th to June 15th. You want
There you
to give
go.
me a tour of the Mitsuwa place?
Definitely, definitely. There's a couple of places in the anime culture that is here in Chicago. I wouldn't mind taking you at all. Yeah.
Nice. That'd be cool. We
Yeah.
can make like a mini documentary, maybe.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I just put out one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just put out a documentary on otaku culture and my life growing up in Chicago, putting the two together. And we did some touring. We went to Comic Con and a few other places where you get to
Hmm.
see otaku culture thrive, you know, in Chicago.
Oh,
Pretty
that's
interesting
awesome.
stuff.
Where's the documentary?
You can find it on ChicagoOtaku.com.
Is it on YouTube?
There's a trailer on YouTube. The
Okay.
actual whole documentary can be found on the website.
Okay. Cool. I'll check that out. Awesome. So Chaos Network. Looking forward 12 months from now, May 2022, where do you see yourself and what are the next few steps you're taking to get there?
So I'm in the process of releasing a lot of music this year, content, videos, and stuff, because I've always lacked in that department. People always wanted to see more videos from me. I was more so focused on the music, but I understand how important videos is to help get a grasp on someone's image and the message that they're trying to portray. So I'm spending all of this year putting out music, and because, like I said, with that revamp, a lot of my old music I deleted, so it's not available to the public no more unless you were there, when it was released. So I'm getting all my catalog back up so people can know what I sound like, and then putting out the video so people can know what I look like and what the message is. And in 2022, it'll be a lot of shows. Anime conventions have took a very huge hit, and all of 2020, basically almost every convention around the world was shut down, and just delayed. 2021 is still pretty shaky, but I think in 2022 we'll be a lot more certain that anime conventions will be back up and running, and that's where I did the majority of my shows. So we'll be
Oh,
back to doing shows at the anime conventions in 2022. I also plan to buy a property for the record label and move in my artists so we can all be in the same space and make music a lot more efficiently instead of just having them fly up to Chicago. I got one artist in North Carolina, have him fly up to Chicago and we record and just vibes. I'd rather him just already be here, and of
mm,
course that's still optional to him. He don't have to come up here, but of course he wants to. He's like, man, Chicago, hell yeah. Um, so that's kind of like my short and long term goal. Um, 2 year or a year from now, and I got some other goals longer term though. But you asked for 2022, so that's where
yeah,
I see myself.
awesome. So you're going to be dropping music, doing shows at anime conventions,
Yes,
possibly buying a place and moving in with the other members of your record label.
yes.
So do you do this whole do you run the record label full time or do you have a job as well?
So I do the label full time, but I'm self-employed. I fund the operations for the label through a few different means. I had my own money that I put to the side when I was working, and now I do Uber Eats, I do DoorDash, I invest in cryptocurrency, I invest in forex. So that money, that money, um, all kind of helps me fund the operation. And then my dad came in with a big investment earlier this year, and that has been helping me get all the operations working the way I need it.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um
I'm just grateful.
yeah. So could you tell me a little bit about, like, let's talk about community. So
Mhm.
like what communities are you a part of? Is there like an anime otaku community that you're involved with, or how do you experience community in 2020 2021?
So it's very funny with the pandemic how everyone has had to shift to kind of like a virtual setting, right? To be interactive with each other. But otaku have always been like that. We've always interacted with each other on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And we've had this online community since the beginning of the internet, right? Um, so nothing has really changed for us. That's the funny part. Um, the anime community, so I separate the two. You have the anime community, you have the otaku community. The reason why they're separated is because there's some people in the anime community that aren't necessarily otaku. Like they like anime, but they're not like immersed in it. It's not like their passion. It don't wake them up every day type of thing.
Mm,
So I don't like to put everybody in the otaku category just because they like anime. And then there's some people who don't like the word otaku because there was a negative stigma that went along with it in the early 80s. And that's a whole nother story. But
mm,
they didn't want to associate themselves with the otaku terminology. So with the anime community, there's so many anime fans now, right? Anime has skyrocketed in popularity. It started in the early 2000s. Now we're in 2021. With the pandemic, it got even like more popular, especially with big rappers like Megan Thee Stallion coming out and expressing her love for anime. And now everyone was at home, so they had time to sit down and watch stuff. And of course, people found anime. Netflix started to invest into anime, Amazon, and all these other big companies. So now a lot of more people is getting into anime. The anime community is vast, and you can find them online. You can find them in the streets. Um, I say that because when I'm out and I'm wearing my anime merch, which is like every day, my anime apparel, people always stop me. I always get like one person, right? Or at least one person a day that would be like, I like your shirt. Or, damn, that's cool. Cause I got anime stickers all over my car. And people would be
Mhm.
like, dude, I love your stickers. Stuff like that. I got to just going to Starbucks to get something, going to McDonald's to get something, just driving in general. People would just be looking at me and I'll be like, what's up? And they be like, they'll give me like a thumbs up or something. Or like I'll be blasting anime music and they'll let down their windows. You're like, dude, you're awesome. Like I get this stuff like all the time. It's weird, because I've
Nice.
never gotten this like up until like 2 years ago.
Mm. Yeah, I
Um,
love that. That's great.
so the community is large in the anime world, or like the anime community is huge. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and in real life.
Mhm.
Otaku culture, otaku community is more virtual. You like otaku are very like shut in, kind of, sorta. It's starting to be more social, but a lot of otaku still keep to themselves. So to find the otaku community, you have to be involved in Facebook groups, otaku Facebook groups. They have chats, like WhatsApp chats. They have Facebook chat, stuff like that. So that would be how you will find the otaku community, or Discord. I forgot all about Discord. Discord is like where everyone's going now. So
Nice.
Discord is a big thing for the otaku community, and that's how I kind of stay involved. I started getting into the community aspect of things when I was in high school. When I first made my first Facebook page in like 2010,
Mhm.
and that's when I found all of the communities, anime and otaku. There's so many. There is an endless amount of anime groups and otaku groups on Facebook. So if you just type in anime in the group section of Facebook, you're gonna find literally like an infinite amount of groups that's just like specifically tailored for anime fans.
Cool.
So if
Have you
that's
been able
something you
to
want to do,
have you ever been able to like convert those people to fans of your music?
I have. When I first really got involved in music, like not when I first dropped music, when I started taking music seriously, which was in 2015. Back then, our ways and strategies for marketing music was just to share them. We just shared the music and tagged a lot of people. So me, I actually joined a lot of anime and otaku groups and shared my music in the groups and told everybody, hey, have you heard of anime rap? Have you heard a rap about anime? My name is such and such. My name is Chaos Network. I rap about anime. If you got some time, check out my music. And I did that all day. Like that's a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
Digital marketing is now it's a thing. It's all legitimate. But back then we were doing that a long time ago, and this was like just something we was doing to just try to get our name out there. Now it's a whole job and legitimate and stuff like that. You can get paid like 50 to 100K a year for doing that.
Yeah.
So that's how I was actually marketing my music, through the anime groups and otaku groups back then.
Cool. So like thinking forward, or like having in mind your goals for the next 12 months. So if you
Mm,
imagine that you have a magic wand that could recruit
mm.
one person to join your team and work for your record label, who would you want to join and what would they do for you?
I would actually use my magic wand to recruit Pharrell Williams.
Ooh.
And I would
Yeah.
I would recruit Pharrell because he also likes anime and he's
Mm.
very like interested in Asian culture. And Pharrell is a genius when it comes to making records, making
Yeah.
hits. He knows how to make music that will have you playing the song all day. And it's really easy to just gravitate into his music, right? Um, Pharrell would propel the record label so much further because he has the connections, he has the vision. He's able to really dive into whatever he decides to get into. That's what Otaku do, and me and him will click because we're on a different like wavelength when it comes to music and people. We want to help, we want to uplift, we want to inspire, we want to do this through just us being who we are and through our music. So it would be really easy for me and Pharrell to make some of the most groundbreaking, revolutionary music that you would hear of today's times, which is what I'm working to do now anyway, so it
Mhm.
would be even easier having Pharrell on the team.
Cool. Good answer. Hopefully we can make that happen one day.
I actually have had dreams of Dr. Dre,
Mm.
of Pharrell, of Kanye, and these now Kanye likes anime as well, but Dr. Dre was a new one for me. I didn't expect to even like think of Dr. Dre when it came to like with my music and people that can help it along, right? But now that I think about it, Dr. Dre does have a genius ear for music, so he would definitely be able to do a lot as well. But I see all these people as human beings, right? They're all humans at the end of the day. Like, yeah, they're famous, they're celebrities, they're music superstars, but at the end of the day, these are people. So if I could get in contact with them, I'm sure there are means to do that. And it's not like super complicated. It may take time, it may take me positioning myself, or it may just take me working on my craft and staying focused on my business, and they come to me,
Mm.
like, so I don't really like stress or trip over meeting superstars and trying to get them to check out my music. I'm doing well with how I'm doing my music now, and
Yeah.
just reaching the people that matter, that want this type of music. That's the whole goal. That was the whole point, and to portray this message and ambassador anime, be an ambassador for anime and otaku culture, So, but I definitely see it happening. Some of these superstars are gonna come. If not come to me, we're just gonna like it's gonna be placed like chess, like we're just gonna end up on the same like adjacent pieces or adjacent slots on the board.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So let's talk about process.
Hmm.
So let's talk specifically. Well, I mean, I'll let you choose if you want to change it, but I'm
Hmm.
thinking about Crossing the Fields EP.
Yes,
What was
yes.
the process of creating that EP? Like, do you make the beats or like how did that all come together?
Okay, so Crossing the Fields, the single, right? You heard the remastered version, I'm pretty sure. Um,
Hmm.
Before the remastered version was the original, which featured Garcia. Um, that song came out in 2015. I started writing it in the beginning of 2014. So it took a year to finish that song and release it. Crossing the Fields was the beginning of me taking music seriously, where I started to rap more about things that people really go through every day, right? Instead of me just rapping about what happens in an anime, rapping about characters and like stuff like that. No, I'm gonna actually take what happens in these anime and relate them to real life experiences, because a lot of anime actually portray these things, right? They have lots of life lessons that you can gather from anime like
Hmm.
Death Note, anime like Psycho-Pass, even like really big anime like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. These anime all have some message to give to the audience. So I took that idea, I took that concept and took it and related it to real social issues like with racism or with love, with going through things every day and being stressed out and feeling overwhelmed, and what you can do to cope with these things that you go through in everyday times, right? So that's how Crossing the Fields came about. But that's the writing part. The
Mhm.
beat actually was already produced by Killing Spree. He goes by Lude Gang now, on YouTube. If you search Killing Spree beats, he'll still come up. And I just like came across the Crossing the Fields beat, um, which is he took the opening theme song for the anime Sword Art Online and he remixed it. He made a hip hop beat out of it. Japanese anime music is my favorite genre of music, and it really like gets me up in the morning. It's my alarm. It fills my spirit. You know, Japanese anime music is something different. Um, he sampled the song and side chained it, put the beat on it, and bam, now we got this amazing soulful beat that infuses Black culture, hip hop culture with anime, anime music, Japanese anime music. It was such a beautiful blend. I was totally blown away when I first heard it and super inspired. I got emotional, so I was like, okay, if this is being done with hip hop and anime, then I have to get on that. Like I was
Mhm.
just playing around before that. And then when I heard that, I was like, okay, now this is something serious. I can't play around with this, right? So I was like, okay, let me make something serious to go along with this beat that will do this beat justice. And that's how Crossing the Fields came about. And then I hit up Garcia, like, hey, I need you on this. You're my best friend. You're a very, very, very good artist, very talented person. And he came on through on second verse, and I finished the hook. I did the hook. I did my first verse, and I did the third verse, and that's how that song came about. Now that was the basis for the Crossing the Fields project,
Mhm.
because I wanted to come back to that type of music. After I released that, I kind of expanded upon that style of my anime rap. I expanded upon that in 2017 when I released another EP called Anime Revolution, The Beginnings. And I was like, in 2019, I was like, okay, I need to go back to that. Like, people love that style of my rap. So let's go back to it in 2019. And for Crossing the Fields, or no, actually for my birthday, I came out with that whole EP. And that's me playing on, or like basically expanding upon everything that Crossing the Fields is, and continuing that and evolving that even further, right? Going more in depth with these social issues, with taking references from the anime and using it to drive a point home, right? So Crossing the Fields, the series, is considered my best work by damn near everybody who knows my music. My best friend, my label mates, they all said it. My producer, a lot of people that have been longtime supporters of my music, they all said that EP, that was it. So I'm very proud of that project, and I love that project as well. Um, I think that's also my favorite project that I've put out so far.
Cool.
And just to give you a little bit more context on it, what made that different from Crossing the Fields, the single, when it first came out in 2015, the EP actually covers all of the anime in that point in time, right? Of course, there's more of the anime that came out after I released my EP, but I summarized the whole anime, all three seasons, in that seven singles. Was it seven
Or
songs?
6, I
Yes,
think.
six songs, right? So
Yeah.
officially it was like six songs, and I had some bonus tracks in there. So
Mhm.
I summarized everything that happened in the anime. You wouldn't even have to watch the anime uh, to kind of like understand what I'm talking about in the project, which was
Yeah.
the goal. I'm trying to rap about anime differently to where you can still get the messages that I'm trying to portray, that I'm trying to get out and express, right? But I'm using anime to do it. So if you did watch the anime, it would hit 10 times harder. You'll know all the references, you'll understand everything that I'm talking about, including the life lessons. So that makes my anime music, my anime rap music, a lot more unique in that sense. So with that project, I rapped about the like Crossing the Fields, the single, the remastered version. It was me covering season 1 of the anime. And then in all of the other songs that came after that, I put myself into the role of the main character. So I basically became the main character and rapped about his experiences throughout the anime. And that's how I was able to get to those life lessons. And that's why it came out so smooth and so amazing, because I really put myself into the character's shoes. And that was my first time ever doing that with any rap that I've wrote. So that's why it was so important for that project.
Yeah, I love that. Great. That's great. I thought the EP was really good. I listened to it this morning. My favorite 2 songs were Path of Yu-Gi-Oh and Path of Kirito.
Yeah, Path of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Who are those people?
That's so Yu-Gi-Oh is the deuteragonist, right? So he's the second main character of season 3. So his whole role is to guide the main character that we know and love, Kirito, from season 1. And in season 3, he's going to guide him through this world and the problems that's going on in this series, in this season, right? Yu-Gi-Oh's basically his story was he grew up in this little village. Everyone gets a little job once they get older, and they just continue their job until they finish it, and then they get another job. So his job was, he was basically like an axer. So he would be axing down this tree, and he spent years, he's been doing this for years, trying to axe down this big, tall, strong tree, you know, and his skill level in axing and sword, whether it be handling swords or any type of sharp object, was low. He didn't really have any like real above average skills in that category. So it was going to take him so much longer, right, to cut down this tree. When Kirito entered that realm, he met Yu-Gi-Oh by chance, and he was like, "Oh, you're trying to cut down this tree," and Kirito gave him a hand. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna take on this job with you." And so they did it together. That's how they got really close and became really, really good friends. And Yu-Gi-Oh had this girl that was in the village that he really liked. And this girl had actually did something that was against the law. She had stepped outside of the bounds of the city and into this other city, this other realm, this other territory that the city or that whole country that they're in is at war with. So when she did that, the church, which oversees the city or the whole space that they're in, their country, actually took her away, and don't nobody know where she went. They just kind of was like, well, it's sad, it's unfortunate, but you know, that's how this world works, right? So Yu-Gi-Oh was so upset with that, you know, because he really loved this girl, and Kirito noticed it. So they set this plot to go and save her, right? And that's how the story starts, kind of, for Sword Art Season 3. So I basically told all of that from Yu-Gi-Oh's perspective, and then I did it again from Kirito's perspective. So it was really interesting for you to get 2 perspectives of the same story. Now, when I did do it with Kirito's side, Kirito, I actually reminisced on back what happened in season 1 and all that Kirito went through in season 1, and then went into season 3 and everything he went through in season 3, and related the 2 experiences, because it's a lot of hardship. It's a lot of love, hardship, and obstacles that we have to face, or that they had to face. And Kirito was going through time after time and time after time, right? So me being able to go back to season one in my mind and just, write down things that he went through and rap about it, and then go into season three and do the same thing and mesh it all together, right? It's so much, it's so much substance, right? That's now packed into these songs that's only at the most 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it's really dope how I did that. And I'll never really truly understand how I did it. I can just kind of like push it to my natural talent, that I never knew I had.
Nice. That's awesome. Learning more about yourself with every song.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you for listening to it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. Have you ever done a song where it's like, so like that EP is storytelling based? Have you ever done a song where you like just rhyme with a bunch of like anime titles or phrases?
I love doing that. Yes, that is another style of my music. Um, you can find that mainly in my drill rap. So I do Chicago gangster rap, which is known as drill, but I do it in the anime style, right? And so what that means is I will rap about murderous intent. I will rap very gritty, and it will be very vulgar in some cases, but I'm using anime references to do it. So if you listen to any Chicago drill music, you'll notice a lot of these rappers come from very harsh environments within Chicago space. And I myself have also grown up in these same environments. Inglewood, um, South Shore, um, Belmont Cragen, Rogers Park. These are Little Village. These are areas that are considered the most like criminal, and the most vulgar. Like these areas is places that no one really want to live in, right? But I didn't have a choice in the matter. So I thank God that I made it out of those areas. But that environment, that being feeling on edge, right? That feeling I'll never forget. Having to watch my back when I'm going to and from school. I was chased by gangbangers. I had to fight. In a lot of different cases, I've been robbed before. A lot of things have happened to me, right? So I've had a lot of moments where I was just really angry, very frustrated. So I would channel that energy into my drill rap. And I enjoy drill rap because I appreciate that these artists are very expressive of how they feel. A lot of artists, not even just artists, but people in general, but I'm gonna say artists for right now, it's hard to express themselves how they really want to, because people always kind of dismiss how they feel, like we don't have a right to feel a certain way. We don't have a right to our opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I respect drill rappers because they don't care about any of that. When they feel something, they're gonna voice it. They're gonna voice it through their music. You'll see it on their Twitter or whatever if they tweet it out, but in the music is where you'll really get to hear how they feel. This is them expressing their rage, anger, frustration, irritation, annoyance. All of that gets expressed. Heartache, heartbreak, all of that gets expressed in that drill rap. It may
Yeah.
be very vulgar. They talk about their crimes. They talk about how they killed people, almost killed people, had to dodge, 12, the cops, all of that stuff, right? I appreciate all of that. I'm from Chicago. I know what that's like. You know, I took that energy and channeled it into being about anime rap, being about anime. So I will take that same gritty references, but use anime references to do it. It was
Yeah.
very interesting how I did that. Um, I really don't think a lot of people call me the forefather of that type of style of anime rap. We call it otaku drill or anime otaku drill. So if I do anime drill, it's gonna be one anime that I'm gonna reference throughout the whole verse or the whole song. If I do anime otaku drill, this is where I showcase how much anime knowledge I have. I'm going to reference like 2030 anime, you know, or it'd be some series that it hasn't gotten anime yet, and it's still a comic book, it's still a manga. So I'm going to reference the manga, and that would be part of the experience, right? So I have to say anime otaku, because otaku, that part is letting you know, okay, I'm not going to just reference anime. A lot of other things are going to get referenced, but it's all in the anime, you know, circle, the culture. So when I do that, that's very fun. I very much enjoy my wordplay with that. This is where I really tap into my lyrical side, and really go into wordplay, lyricism, you know, onomatopoeias, similes, metaphors, and all of that good stuff, where I take the English language. And I learned this from Garcia. A lot of this I got from him because that's what he did, you know? So he really helped me to formulate my skill level in the lyrical department, you know? And of course, a lot of the other drill rappers that I listen to, and how they were, you know, how they express themselves in their wordplay, you know? So I took all of that and formed my own version. Pretty dope stuff.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. One thing that you said was that drill rappers, or people in general, sometimes have trouble expressing their emotions, and the outside world is always quick to invalidate your reality. But
very much so.
When you put your reality into music, it becomes much harder to invalidate, because it exists outside of yourself, and you can point to it and say, look at this song, like this is my life, and this is my emotions and how I feel.
Indeed. And that's what makes music so powerful. Music is like almost like an instrument, a tool that can be used to either express, it can be used to showcase, it can be used to gather, to unite, to unify. Like it's amazing the power that music has, you know? So to be a part of that force, that driving force in the world, I can say that I'm very blessed. You know, it's definitely an experience.
Yeah, totally. And empathy, like when there's a song, like rap songs especially, are you know, you can empathize with the rapper, like no matter who it is and like what they're talking about for the most part. You can like feel their emotions and kind of put yourself in their shoes a little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next phase of this interview. It's a segment that I call Three Things. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to, off the top of your head, try to give 3 answers as quickly as possible without thinking too much.
Okay.
Okay. So what are 3 things that you've learned from anime?
Never give up. Always give it your best. And love your friends and people who really care about you.
Wow. Never give up. Wait, what?
Always,
sorry, what?
Never give up. Always try your best at everything. And love your friends and the people who really care about you.
Never give up. Try your best. Love your friends. What are 3 of your favorite words?
I always say blessings. Blessings, love, and happiness. You know, faith.
Blessings.
Actually, faith. I'm gonna say faith. Faith, blessings, and love.
Faith, blessings, and love.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. What are 3 things that you learned growing up in Chicago?
Hustle. And Chicago will keep you on your toes. So I've learned to hustle for what I want. I've learned that not everything is peaches and cream, right? So you're always going to have moments where things are going to be down, and Chicago will teach you to remain strong, you know, like persevere, endure, you know, endurance, very important.
Cool. So hustle, life has ups and downs, but endure and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Great. What are 3 things that you want everyone to know about you?
That anime is the wave. Get you some anime. Get on some anime, y'all. I'll give you some recommendations. I give you some stuff that's gonna be like, oh, I should have already been on this. I'm so Like, yeah, I'm gonna make you feel like that.
Nice.
Watch you some anime. Be open-minded. Be open-minded because there are a lot of things that you don't know about out here and
Hmm.
that you have never heard of, or it may even be some things that you have heard of that people have talked bad about. But don't let that formulate your opinion. Form your own opinion first. Go actually experience the thing first before you say something about it. So I would say about me, no, watch you some anime, be open-minded, and otaku rap is the wave, you know.
Nice. Perfect. What are 3 places that you want to visit someday?
Tokyo, Japan, Manila, the Philippines.
Hmm.
Um, I also want to go back. Well, actually, I've been there already, so let me not do a place that I've been already.
It could be when you've
I'm
been.
so I've been to LA, but
Hmm.
I haven't really got to like encompass LA. Like I didn't get to really explore. So I definitely want to go back to LA. So I'm gonna say Tokyo, Japan, but actually let me make it even more specific. Akihabara, Japan. So it's a district in Tokyo. That's where otaku culture is like placed. Is where it's established. Anime store on every corner. Like so that's number one. Number two, I'll give it to actually Hawaii. I want to go visit Hawaii because I know Hawaii is like a safe haven. It's a place where you can really relax. And then I'm gonna give it back to LA because LA was amazing. I want to go back to LA. I like
Nice.
LA.
Have you been to Japan before?
I actually plan to go next month. We'll see how COVID's doing. It may be restricting air travel still, but I'm definitely going to try to go to Japan this year.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. So the last stage of the interview is I'm going to run through some standard questions that are short answer.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go through them. So if you could teach everybody in the world one concept, what would it be?
I will teach people the concept of self-love. I think that's very important. And we often neglect it, being able to know what fills your spirit. Not taking care of your body, that's self-care, that's self-maintenance. But what fills your insides, what gets you up and motivated. That's what I kind of want to make sure people understand, because that's a concept that I'm still learning about, and I didn't even start my journey with that until a couple of years ago, So I think that's something everybody needs to know about early on.
Yeah, cool. Tell me more about that. Like, what has your journey been like so far? And do you do any practices to develop self-love or?
So my struggle with self-love, the reason why I had to start a journey for it is because I found myself overexhausting myself and burning myself out, giving to everybody, like all my friends, family members, anybody who needed assistance and asked for help. I always was there. I was always breaking my back and going above and beyond for my peoples, right? For the people I care about. But what that did was, in the long term, hurt me, and I drained my own resources, my own energy, and now I couldn't do what it is that I wanted to do for myself because I was too busy giving all of that to everybody else, right? So I had to learn to be more selfish. Like it's nothing wrong with being selfish. I think we are all selfish in some degree, but it's all about when and where you're selfish. You don't want to be selfish in moments that actually you should be, like selfless, and caring and compassionate, right? So I know it can be hard to kind of tell when that is, but the more you practice that, right, the more you practice giving, the more you practice not giving and being selfish, you'll start to see when it really matters the most, right? So that's what I've been practicing. I've been practicing saying no.
Yeah,
that's where
huge.
I struggled saying no, so
Great.
caring more for myself in that instance.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you take the time to fill up your own cup. so you can keep giving.
Yes, indeed.
Cool. If 1 million people listen to one of your songs, which song would you want it to be?
Crossing the Fields.
Crossing the
The
Fields.
Fields is that song, man. It's that song. Yeah, that's gonna get everybody jumping. And the reason why I can say that confidently is because I've already had people DM me saying that they cried over the song. The song made them cry. Or like, I even had a girl tell me that she met her boyfriend at one of my shows because he had the album physically and she didn't. And he was like, I'll let you borrow it. And then that's how they got together. It was great. Yeah, so people have actually like got together from Crossing the Fields. So that's some cool stuff. You know, I can be sitting here in my room proud that one of my songs made a couple. You know, like
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's impactful music right there.
And that was the whole goal. You know, that was meant to be impactful. So I'm glad it did its job.
Awesome. Okay, what important truth do you know is true, but very few people would agree with you on?
I think people oftentimes get morals confused because here people will, let's use the US just as an example. In the US, we have all these laws in place, right? But a lot of these laws aren't really followed, right? But people will really get defensive and start to project their beliefs onto other people with certain laws, right? So for me, I always say no sin is greater than the other, right? So whether it be, you know, you robbing or like stealing or lying or cheating, to me, it's all you doing something, you know, that you know isn't right. But here's the question: what's right and what's wrong? So that's what I always tell people is right and wrong depends on you. Okay. There's no universal right and wrong. There's always going to be somebody who's going to be like, well, you say that's right, but I don't think so. Always. It's always going to be at least one person, right? I don't care if it's 50 million people that agree this is right. It's going to be one person who agree is wrong. And guess what? That holds no weight between the 50 million and the one person, right? Because at the end of the day, everyone has the right to believe what it is that they want to believe. So I always tell people there is no right and wrong. It's only dependent on you. There's no universal right and wrong, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is entitled to their own beliefs.
Cool. That's great. Yeah. What's your experience with freestyle rapping? You mentioned third grade. You were freestyling in third grade. And is this something that you've kept up over the years?
No.
Also, how did you learn as a third grader how to freestyle?
So freestyling actually to me is a magical skill, right? That's a skill that you can actually upgrade with practice and with really sitting down and understanding how language works, right? And how your brain processes language at the speed it processes it and how it processes it, right? So this is what makes freestyling so interesting. I started off freestyling by making the beat on the table. Other people would freestyle over the beat. And I would just jump in because I'm like, I don't want to be left out and just be the one making the beat, right? So I would jump in and just I couldn't freestyle like super fast and like, you know, Tech Nine freestyling, Eminem freestyling, but I would like, I see you with them red shoes. It's kind of looking pretty cool. Yeah, you know, like I would like freestyle like that. Like I'll slow it down to where I give my brain enough time to be able to come up with the next line and for it to flow together and rhyme, right? So that's the hardest part of freestyling. So, but that's how I got my start. And it got better when I got to high school because we was doing it every day. So now I'm practicing that processes every day. And unfortunately, that was freshman year, and after that, we didn't really continue it after, because those people that I was freestyling with in lunch, we had separate classes after that year, so we didn't get
Mm,
to like come together and freestyle like that no more. Um, and then when I got into music, and me and Garcia was spending a lot of time together, he did a lot of freestyling. He was so good at freestyling, and I had to like, play off that energy, right? So that energy was inspiring me to get back into freestyling. So now I'm freestyling with him. And of course, he's way better, but, I had to go home and practice, so I would freestyle just randomly in the shower, before I go to sleep, when I wake up, while I'm doing stuff. I'll be listening to music, I'll be listening to a song, and I'll freestyle and the song playing. And this would be with anime music. This is with video game OSTs or soundtracks. This is with rap. I'll just be freestyling. It don't matter what was playing. Uh,
mhm.
Now though, now I'm not nowhere near what I used to be when I did it every day.
Yeah.
I could still freestyle. People will love it, but my freestyles are more comical, right? So I don't when I write, I'm really sitting down and thinking about the lines, right? And when I freestyle, it's more so just trying to keep you entertained, because that's to me
Mm,
what it is. It's more entertainment. Like I can't really spit serious bars like how I want to uh, in the freestyle, because I need more time to sit and really think about what I'm gonna say. You know,
mm,
but freestyle rap has always been magical to me, and I applaud anybody who can do it and do it well. That takes a lot of practice. Garcia told me he read the dictionary 3 times over. And
what?
that's how he got good at freestyling. And he's been freestyling since he was a kid as well.
Wow.
So he had to. Now with me, I didn't read the dictionary. I read a little bit of it, but I didn't go through all of it, and it depends on what dictionary, what edition. I did a lot of Google searching, right? So I'll look up a word, and then I'll look up synonyms to that word, antonyms to that word, and think of words that rhyme with that word, right? And I'll
Oh.
just kind of practice that, and the more you do that, the quicker it's gonna come to you when you're freestyling, when
Mm,
you're rhyming. Now, another thing that freestylers do is they take, and this is something I do as well, they take things that they've already written and put them together with other things that they've written. And then also throw in new stuff like off the dome stuff, right? So for example, I can take a verse that I wrote 4 or 5 years ago that I never released and wrap that with something that, I never released again in like 2019, right? 2015, 2019, put it together and then throw in some new that just came to the top, you know? And
mhm,
that's also freestyling. It's free
mm,
of style. There's no beat to it, or if there is a beat to it, you didn't write to that beat. This is all just you off. This is coming like right now, right here, right now. Type of thing.
mhm.
People will also say freestyling is taking something that you've written already and spitting it over something that it wasn't meant to go to. So there's different perspectives on freestyling, but for me, my definition have always been off the dome. Off the dome freestyling has always been what freestyle encompasses to me.
Mm. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great. I really liked
yeah.
what you said. I've actually never heard this before of going to synonyms and antonyms like a
Hmm.
thesaurus and then freestyling with those.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting because then you can
yeah.
find new ways to connect similar words and like rhymes uh, that are synonyms
Indeed,
and antonyms. Yeah.
indeed. So that's what makes freestyling so cool. You'll actually learn more about your own language. I
Yeah, totally.
had
And
to
even
look up.
like,
Go ahead.
oh, like you can break it down to like the syllable level of like learning
Yeah,
about language and like
yeah,
how you can say the same words using completely different sounds and then
yeah,
people will interpret it. So
yeah.
like rapping with
Exactly,
different accents and stuff like that, people still
exactly,
understand it. And
exactly.
um, homonyms,
Yeah,
wordplay,
yeah.
all these
I did.
things.
I had to do the same thing, syllable count. actually is something that I learned was very important halfway into my career, because
Mm.
there were like ideas. I was like getting lines and I'm writing these lines down, and I'm like, these lines are great, but they're not flowing together. Something's wrong. So I would have to change some words around to kind of keep that same meaning, but the more thing was about the flow of these
Yeah.
lines. Like make sure that if I'm gonna da na 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 in this line, I have to da na 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 in this line, you know,
Mm.
to for it to flow together. And then literary devices. When you study literary devices of English, that's onomatopoeias, that's personification, all of those different ways that you can basically play on the English language. That helps you to really like drastically improve your wordplay, because now
Yeah.
you're understanding what wordplay is. Wordplay is about playing on words. It's about taking the English language and showing you that it's a bunch of BS, because all of these laws, all of these restrictions that we have on the language with our grammar, with punctuation, all of these different things can be played around with. You can still get the same meanings out of a lot of sentences that you structure without the laws of English. And then
Yeah.
you'll start to see that there are different dialects of English. There are different standards of English. You have non-standard English, you have standard English. So especially with it's now I'm going to tell you about Black American English. That's a thing. Black Americans actually are considered to have their own language. It's not the same as English. They say, and you can look at Marion, you can look at Oxford. They're all going to tell you that Ebonics is not considered English. It's not considered a dialect of English. It's considered a standalone language. So
Mm.
now you have Black Americans that can take their own language and really, work with it and the English language. So it
Mhm.
becomes very interesting. So you start to hear words like "ama," "finna," "gonna," "gone," stuff like that. And it becomes really interesting how this stuff comes together, man. It's really interesting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it all for me, it all boils down to like communication. So,
Yeah,
like, are you able
yeah,
to put a message from your brain into somebody else's brain? And
indeed.
however you do that, more power to you. Also,
Communication
literary,
and mhm,
in terms of literary devices, idioms
mhm.
is a really good one.
Idioms, idioms, yeah,
Yeah.
and entendres. There's
Oh,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
yeah entendres. Yeah,
True.
awesome.
Cool. Really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
What are two albums that I have probably never heard, but I should listen to? I'm guessing
Oh
it's going to
man.
be some anime music.
Oh man, like anime music is that's my genre, man. Like they are on another level of producing music.
Mm,
The Japanese, I really appreciate how in depth they go when it comes. Like they really sit down, and when they make their music, it's like you can't like knock them out of that space, that concentration. They're so focused,
mm,
right? And then they also have some real deep, profound dedication and respect and love for music as well.
mm.
And it's part of the culture. It's cultural. So that's another thing that makes it so important. Albums, shit. Let me go
Yep.
on my phone real quick, man. Let me see. Um, I would actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you a future funk album
Mm,
that I very much enjoyed. Um, my favorite future funk producer, Mikazuki Big Wave in Japan. He makes future funk music. So um, he takes old school Japanese 80s music. It's called city pop, and he'll take it and turn it into disco. It's so interesting. So he'll speed it up. He'll put his own little spin on it. Um, I'm trying to go find the name of it, but that is going to be my first album that I'm going to give to you. Let's see. It's called second 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 release from. It's called his single series second. So he put out an album on his Bandcamp um, of a lot of singles that he put out in 2019, 2018, 2017, probably too. And he put them all together. It's like a compilation of singles. And there's so many like good songs on there that's just a vibe. It's a vibe. Like it's gonna almost put you into a disco space where you're gonna like be in your room listening to this, and it's gonna feel like you're at the club in the 80s with an afro or something, or with long hair and some shades.
Nice. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, like that is the type of music he make, and that's why I love him so much. I can't wait to start making that type of music as well, because that's something I plan to do. I'm actually gonna give you let me see if you still, it's called Singles Volume 2, Mikazuki Bigway. If you want me to send you the link, I will.
Let me see. Send it. You don't have to send it right now. And then do you have a second album?
Hold on, I want to make sure this is the right one.
Okay.
It might actually be the Volume 1. Okay. Let me check Volume 1 real quick. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you his sentimental album. Oh man, this dude got so many hits. Sentimental, right? I'm gonna send you that link. I want you to listen to that one. That Sentimental, I actually like that album a lot. Now I'm gonna give you now I gotta go in my phone, my actual music library.
Well, so you said you drive around town and then people say, hey, nice music. Like, what are you listening to at those times? Is that Mikazuki?
So I am listening to Mikazuki, but I'm also listening to my favorite Japanese anime song artists. I want to give you, there's so many of them. Juna's music is epic, actually. Juna is a newer Japanese anime song artist, and I found her when I watched this one anime on Netflix. If you want to check it out, it's called Kakegurui, and that anime is about gambling. It's called compulsive gambling. That's the name. That's what that name means. The main character, she's a compulsive gambler, so she gambles for the thrill of it. She don't care if she loses $1 million or $10, right? Or if she wins $100,000. She's only here for the gambling experience, right? That thrill, it like gets her off. So Juna made the opening theme song or sung it, and it was amazing. So she had an album. Kono Yubi Tomada. I'm trying to see what the name of the album was. I think she called it the same name as the song, the single. Kono Yubi Tomade. I don't know what that means yet. Let me see.
Kono Yubi Tomore.
Tomade, yeah. It's only like 6 tracks, but the production is fire. I want to give you this. Damn, see, I hate that you asked me this question because now I got to go through all these songs. I want to give you this, but I also want to give you one of my favorite anime song artists. Like, she actually has my favorite song of all time right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you her.
Works. Yeah, it doesn't have to be an album.
Yeah, but the reason why it's hard because the Japanese be putting out singles, and then they make like an EP for that single, and then they put that single on an album. So it's like a bunch of different projects you can check out. Go ahead and look up. I'm gonna send you the links to this stuff. But Words of Love by Haruka Chisuga. She has an angelic voice. It's just is fire. You know, so that single they put on the album, right? But that single also has an EP for it. So when they do a single, the single is actually like 4, 5, 6 songs, which is the instrumental and like one other song, you know, or 2 other songs. So I'm gonna send you that because the genre for it is considered dance and EDM, and it's done. You know, she sings in Japanese, but she also has some English words that she'll throw in there. Rasmus Faber is the producer for this album, and he is a Swedish producer. So it's showing you that music is becoming so diverse that Sweden and Japan is coming together to make some hits. You know, like that's crazy stuff. So I'm gonna send you that album. Those are gonna be the 2 albums. Yeah, for sure.
Sweet. It was Mikazuki Bigwig's Sentimental Album and Words of
Yeah.
Love by Haruka Sasuga.
Chisuga, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I probably spelled that wrong, but I'll put the link in the description of the song.
Yeah.
Of the video, I mean. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chaos Network. My last question of the main interview is, based on everything that you know, what is the secret to becoming a famous rapper?
Marketing is everything. It don't matter what you putting out. You could put out the most trash music, and that's subjective. But you could put out some music that really sound bad universally and gain clout from that, you know, because it's so bad and everybody agrees, and everybody will come in and roast you for it, but you're getting the attention. That's marketing, you know? So I would say marketing is key to anybody's success that's trying to make music and be famous or be successful. You got to have a certain amount of clout, you know. Let's be real. I tried to fight that for the longest time in my career. I'm like, man, I don't need clout. It's stressful to have all this clout, all these eyes on you, all these people judging you, you know, all these expectations. It's overwhelming, right? But that's part of the job, you know. Like, you got to have a certain amount of people buying in and supporting you for you to be able to sustain yourself from this, if this is what you want to do full time, you know. And then you have to continue to do that. You have to continue to maintain this relationship with these people, right? And then of course you're going to want more people so you can get to a higher point, and then you can do more with your music. So marketing is going to be the key to that. There's no way around it. You cannot escape marketing. Marketing is the key to any business, and especially so with music.
Totally. So you said marketing. You also said doing something that people pay attention to, being able to hold their attention.
Yeah.
And marketing.
Marketing.
That makes
That's
sense.
all a part of marketing. All of that is a part of marketing. Marketing has several processes within itself, you know?
Yeah, totally. Cool. Chaos Network, thank you so much for joining me. I do have a few more questions that are more logistical, if that's all right. But
yeah, no problem.
For now, I would just want to give you a couple minutes. If there's anything that you haven't talked about yet that you would like to, I'll just give you the time to say whatever you want to say right now.
So to give you a little background on my music, right, and the way it's done, this is what I wanted to kind of get into depth to earlier. So I have 2 styles, I have 2 genres, right? I have otaku rap and anime rap. Otaku rap is the umbrella term, so it covers every other subgenre within it, you know. Otaku rap, when I do that, that means I'm rapping about the lifestyle, right? Anime rap is the most major subgenre of otaku rap. So the 2 genres you will hear me do the most is otaku rap and anime rap. Otaku rap is where I rap about the lifestyle of being an otaku, what that's like. That's the behaviors, the characteristics, the mentality, the mindset, all of that, right? And then I talk about anime, right? Anime rap. So anime rap is where I rap about anime. And you can see that with songs like Crossing the Fields and that whole project. That's all anime rap, right? Otaku Bars, that's a series of freestyle rap where I kind of like rap, but not, it's no hook. It's not a song. It's just straight hardcore rap, right? It's a long verse or maybe like a verse and a little intermission of me talking, and then I go back into rapping, right? So that's otaku rap. And I'm rapping about the lifestyle of being an otaku, some of the stuff that we go through, right? That's all otaku rap. So in those in those two genres, otaku rap and then the subgenre anime rap, I have styles of doing both of those. You heard in Crossing the Fields a new style, fairly new. It's not new no more because it started in 2015. Anime revolution style music, anime revolution style anime rap. That's what that style is. So that's where I take the life lessons from the anime and my own experiences or experiences we all go through and put the two together. That's anime revolution. I'm revolutionizing the style of anime rap. I'm revolutionizing that whole genre because that's changing the game. I'm not just rapping about anime no more. It's going deeper, right? And then I have the same thing with otaku rap, otaku revolution style otaku rap music, where I go into depth about what otaku have to go through, right? Like people be like, oh, you're otaku. Like there's a lot of people who got a stigma, there's a negative stigma on otaku, right? Like people just still see you as a nerd, like they still gonna talk crap about you, stuff like that. And then what it's like growing up alone, not having nobody else to share your passion with, what that's like, And then for me growing up in Chicago, the stuff I had to deal with in Chicago on top of being otaku, right? So I talk about all of that in my otaku revolution style, otaku rap. And then you have all the other subgenres like anime drill, anime otaku drill, and otaku trap, anime trap, and there's going to be way more subgenres to come in the future. So I wanted everybody to kind of get an understanding of the versatility of my music. And there's so much variety, there's so much different sounds, lyrical content. That's what makes my music so dope. That's why I'm so glad to be doing this. There's so many different ways to express this stuff. And I have so much material to work with. That's what makes my music unique. And that's why a lot of people rock with me. They like, dude, you're onto something.
Yeah.
So I have a long way to go to really be able to express all of these different styles and genres.
I love that. So you talked about versatility, but to me, it sounds like what you're describing is universe building. Are you familiar with this concept?
World building. We have that in the anime all the time, where they try to expand on the world of that anime.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're doing, what I'm doing with my music, right? My music is like its own little world, and it has these countries or something or cities, and you can go into these different districts and you'll get a certain sound here, you'll get certain lyrical content here. I never thought of it like that, but that is a good description.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good way to describe it. I like universe building because it's even more than like a world. Like each one of those could be its own world, but then you're building this universe where people can, they experience this style, and then they can go over here, and then it's like related, but they're going like more in depth or branching off. Like a universe has a lot of branches and stuff.
The universe has a lot of different worlds, so all these worlds together makes the universe. That's dope.
I like that. Nice. Cool. So I just have a few follow-up questions that I wanted to ask. So you mentioned, also, thanks everybody for listening this far. If you want to keep up with Chaos Network, I put the links to all of his websites and social media in the description of this video. So make sure to follow him. Your main channels are Bandcamp, right?
Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Okay. And then you're on Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, and you can find me on Twitter. And then I also have all my music on, or coming soon, but there's a couple of songs that you can find on all major streaming platforms if you listen to Spotify, iTunes, etc.
Okay. but the best place to keep up with you is on Bandcamp.
On Bandcamp for music, and social media, Instagram. I'm on Instagram.
Okay,
The most. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, make sure to connect with Chaos Network and experience this universe that will be built over the next few years.
Over the next decade.
Over the next decade. Yeah.
Time, man. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so you talked about Garcia several times. Does he
Garcia.
still rap?
Yes, he does. He actually goes by another name now. He calls himself Emia. Emia is actually a character from Fate Stay Night, which is all over me right now. Fate Stay Night. He's the main character actually. Yeah, that's what he goes by now. His music has always been versatile as well. He raps a lot about heartbreak though. A lot of heartbreak. He's been through a lot of heartbreaks. So a lot of his music is about that. And then also about, he's from New York. So he has a lot of, like hustler music, and like, getting it out the mud, and, a lot of obstacles and demons, fighting demons and stuff like that. The guy is very talented in what he does and how he paints a picture, in his raps.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to, look up Garcia, he goes by Emia now. You can find him on SoundCloud. Emiya.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do you think you would be interested in joining the network? Or do you have any other rappers that you think would want to come on for an interview?
Well, me and Garcia aren't cool anymore. We got into it a couple of years back, which is unfortunate because, like I said, he was my best friend for 8 years, and we did so much together. But when you evolve, you grow. Sometimes you separate from the people that you started with. I will say definitely you want to get my label mates on. Xavier Battles. He's gonna give you a very interesting interview because he makes lo-fi music and sad boy emo music. I call it that, but he gets mad at me for calling it that. I call it emotional music. His music is very emotional, but it's also a vibe. It's very vibey, wavy, very interesting stuff. I think you'd love to have him. And my other artist who has yet to put out music, but he is featured on my latest single, Anime Otaku Nation, Okami B. He is super energetic. You thought I had passion. This guy supersedes me. Like he's hailing from North Carolina. This guy is just exploding with energy. He's raring to go and get his name out into the music world, and make music for people.
But he doesn't record much yet?
No, he's actually going to be coming to Chicago within the next 2 weeks to record. He'll be putting out some music soon. Xavier had just released a song Sunday called Soul Searching. So Xavier has music that he can show you. And Okami B for right now only has that featured verse on my single. Besides Xavier Battles, I would say you want to do Musicality. Musicality is a producer that I came up with. This guy has over millions and millions of views across the board, Spotify and YouTube. He has over 100K subscribers on YouTube. And me and him started together, man. He was making animated hip hop beats, and it was dope. How to see him grow so drastically. He started taking music seriously and putting it out on all streaming platforms, and now he got all this clout, and he's still a humble guy. He's still a human being, and I really appreciate that about him. I would say interview him to get that producer perspective, because producers don't get enough shine.
Can you set that up? You still close?
Yeah. I can hit him up on Instagram and get it set up.
Sweet, let's do it. Nice. And then the next thing I want to ask is something I've been doing lately is, so like this interview is going to drop on the channel on Saturday, and I'm wondering if you would be cool with me releasing like an album of yours on Friday, or maybe reposting. Well, so like if you want to keep it right now, your stuff is mostly on Bandcamp, so if you want to keep it that way, that's fine. But I'm wondering if you have some collection of music that you would want me to drop on the channel on Friday to give people something to listen to before the interview.
Okay. Will you be putting it like all in one video and then just kind of like having the songs play one after the other?
Yeah, exactly, just like that.
Okay, I can give you a compilation of songs actually. I still have to record my next project that's gonna be released actually next month, June 24th. Otaku Bars, the series. But I do have a couple of projects that I didn't get to release. So yeah, they can be released to help showcase my work.
Sweet. Yeah. If you unreleased music, that'd be dope.
Yeah, unreleased music. And then I'm going to the studio right now. So I'm gonna be able to record some stuff, and then you'll be able to get some stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, by Friday,
by Friday.
Okay, cool.
I'll be in the studio all week. So I'll be able to record some stuff for you. Yeah.
Sweet. And then my last question is like, is what do you feel like your music or your artistry is lacking most that like you would be willing to pay for coaching or training or help with? Is there anything?
Marketing is so intricate, deep, and it's a lot to it. I always would be like, man, somebody come do the marketing for me. I don't even feel like being social on social media like that. No, it's a lot. It's so much. It's overwhelming. It's stressful. Having to be social like that all the time. And just I want to just make the music. I want to just make the music and enjoy my life. But you can't do that when you're running a business. You gotta be out here. You gotta do marketing. So
what anything on like the rap side, like freestyle or like rhyming or delivery, I don't know, anything like that that's like not marketing but is music?
With the music, I am actually already doing this. I'm building a network of multi-instrumentalists and musicians and producers. Because I'm going to start making other genres of music outside of rap. That was my goal originally anyway. I started off rapping, but I want to head out. So I would definitely be paying multi-instrumentalists, musicians, and producers, which I'm already paying producers because I co-produce. I sit down with my producer in the studio and we make the beat together. I already have the melody in my head. I just need him to program it, and we find the instruments together. I usually be like, that's the instrument right there. And then I'll tell him the notes to play and how to string it together, et cetera, right? So I do that with my producers already, but I want to get some musicians and sit down and have them play and show them kind of like give them an idea of what I'm going for with whatever song I'm making. So I definitely want more musicians and multi-instrumentalists in my circle, in my network.
Cool. In Chicago specifically.
It don't have to be just in Chicago because, we're doing things virtually now. People are just, recording at home and then sending it over. I would prefer that studio setting where everyone's here. We're all making the music in the studio, right? But, that's not always how it's going to happen. So sometimes I have to just kind of offset it and do it virtually, but I would definitely like to be in Chicago with it for sure.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So if you're a multi-instrumentalist watching this interview, you can reach out on Instagram.
Hit me up on Instagram. Multi-instrumentalists, producers, musicians, engineers.
And Pharrell Williams.
If you're Pharrell Williams. Yeah, I think I DM'd him already, but I'm gonna DM him again.
Pharrell Williams, check your DMs. Chaos Network has been reaching out.
I'm trying to get up with you, man. Let's make history.
Nice, awesome. Well, Chaos Network, it was a pleasure getting to know you today.
Thank you.
We talked for a while, an hour and a half, I think. So we got.
I always do that. I don't be meaning to do that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I could tell you like to talk. It's good.
I talk a lot, man. I got a lot to talk to you about.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to follow up with you to get a headshot. And I'm also going to add you to some Facebook groups.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great Tuesday.
You as well.
Enjoy the studio time.
Will do.
Savor it.
Yeah.
Do not waste it.
right?
Put in that work. All right.
Facts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Focus on love, love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's focus. Focus on love, love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love, love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. I wanna lay down a never-ending road. We never go to